What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the One Reel In podcast. If you notice, I am a bit stuffy. I'm sorry about that, but I'm a little sick. So, enjoy.
What are you apologizing for?
Anyway, joining me as always is Marco Dupa.
Yeah!
That's pretty good. And also, what are we calling you nowadays?
Davey the God.
Davey the God, that's right.
I'll find a name.
Can never keep up with it. Anyway, we are reviewing a very special movie, as we normally do, I should say. This is 2014's Need for Speed.
The very first in our video game movie series.
Yes, movie review series. This movie was directed by Scott Wow. That's actually his name, Scott Wow. Never heard of him, but
I thought he saw the name and was like, aghast.
I can't pronounce this.
No, it's,
Wow.
It's actually Scott Wow. Anyway, so this is obviously a movie based on the racing video game series, which isn't known for its storyline, but they said, you know what, we're gonna do it.
They flipped it. There was all of 2 actual races. 3. There was 3 races in the movie.
Yes.
White, black. There may have been
and
an
Latino.
Asian.
That's
Oh,
it.
that's
Latino,
right. Yeah.
There wasn't any Asians.
There's an
I don't
Egyptian.
think. I don't remember who.
Remy Malik.
He's Egyptian.
Yeah.
Oh, that means
Rami.
he's black.
Huh?
He's black.
Rami.
He's African American.
He's not black.
That's what he is.
Okay. Anyway,
Try to take away the ancient people.
so I feel like we're getting sidetracked here.
Got real offended. Talk about Mr. Robot like that.
So, guys, let's open up by asking, what'd you think of Need for Speed?
Oh God.
6 out of 6.
Yeah, big time.
Needs 8 more sequels. Fast and Furious competitor.
Hey, I mean, if they got 8 more, then at least at like the 4th, 5th film, then it takes a side step and becomes a totally different movie. And then
An
maybe,
action film.
I'm
and
down
then
for
the
that, yeah.
Universes
Collide.
Yes.
I mean, it's not like it took Fast and the Furious that many movies to be good, though.
Just one.
Yeah. That's right. Just one.
Yeah. Anyway, obviously this movie is biting a lot from Fast and Furious and trying to jump on that bandwagon. Maybe 10 years too late.
Yeah, 10 years too late in every regard. In the video game movie regard,
Yeah.
in the relevancy of that video game, and in the relevancy of those kinds of movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to its credit, if you want to start getting into the pros and cons of the movie, it has a pretty stacked cast, I'll say. Of like the highest tier of B tier actors, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say we have Aaron Paul in the lead role. Dominic, what's his last name? Cooper, right? Who is Tony Stark's dad in Iron Man. You may know him from that.
Now he's the lead in Preacher.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that was a show. My favorite name of an actor of all time, Imogen Poots. Then you have Rami Malik, and just a bunch of other people that we've
Kid
seen.
Cudi.
Yeah.
Kid Cudi, yeah. Dakota Johnson.
Keith Sutherland?
No, sir.
Wait.
Oh, Michael Keaton.
I always get
Michael Keaton.
I can see that. The name. I can see that. No, seriously, because I do that with like if the name is similar, it doesn't matter how different the 2 actors are. I'll confuse them. So
I just see an older white guy in my head.
That's close.
all right. Well, they're different than that.
They look very different.
They look very different.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. Actually, not that big of a difference, honestly.
You don't think so?
One's
Not really.
balding.
Yeah.
I think Kiefer. I think he's losing his hair too.
Probably by now.
Yeah.
It's all the drinking.
No, Kiefer just has
more
a
power
big
to me,
face. He just has a big face, big ears, big nose, just
giant
exaggerated
head.
features. Yeah.
Anyway, so that was my biggest surprise in this movie is that
How solid that cast is.
that cast, and including Michael Keaton, who ended up winning an Academy Award
Oh,
for
yeah,
that role.
nominated.
For that role?
Huh?
He didn't win
Oh, he got nominated for Birdman.
for that role. Yeah.
Yeah, for that role. For De Leon.
Yeah. What was his name?
De Leon?
Monarch.
The Monarch. Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yes.
There's one point in the movie where like a guy in a bar is like, he's talking to Dominic Cooper's character, and he's like, just a guy named Monarch who like runs a race. And it's for like $2 million. I mean, it's just really hard to believe. It's like, you don't have to believe it, bro. The guy's got a podcast. He announced it on the internet.
You can see him.
He's a famous person. You don't need to believe it. It's real.
Yeah.
There's so many things that happened in this movie that drove me fucking crazy.
It drove you crazy?
Drove me right up the wall, into a wall, in a fancy Lamborghini, flipped in the air, crashed and died. Like this movie should have before it even got off of production.
Petey, no. I should say, obviously, we're going to get into spoilers. So if you would like to see Need for Speed, go ahead and stop it now.
Yeah,
stop this podcast now.
If you hate yourself like we do.
Well, there you go. Mm-hmm. Before we send people on that quest, would you recommend people go see it?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Wow.
David?
Yeah, if you got time to burn.
Okay.
No,
actually no.
Okay.
It's a bad.
There's just so many things. Like it's not bad in a bad movie good way, you know?
Yeah, and I'll agree with that. I'll say no, don't watch it if you don't like wasting your time.
After watching this the second time, I realized that it's one of those movies that perfectly works as just like a movie that's on cable. Like if it was on TNT and I was just flipping through the channels and there was nothing else on and I had already stabbed my own eyeballs and
it's an airplane movie.
Yeah.
It's on, it's fine.
Yeah, it's just mediocre across the board.
I feel like we keep getting unlucky with those kinds of movies too, because we haven't seen a truly awful, terrible movie, I feel, in a little while.
Yeah. Well, it's because the movies that we've chosen so far, the production value has been pretty high as far as like the cast is concerned and like who was involved. So we're not going to get like those just truly awful movies.
Well, it's like PBR sabotage money.
Yeah. I mean, right.
Can fund that quality.
What was the other one?
Sabotage.
Well, episode 2.
Huh?
Episode 2.
What?
Episode 2.
Attack of the Clones.
Of the podcast.
Of One Reel In?
Yeah. Of One Reel In.
This is episode 2.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't think we've done any more.
I thought we did a second.
I know we...
the Marine. We did the Marine.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. This is 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's been a little while, so... Anyway,
all right. So
as we do, let's start from the top.
Yeah, because I got questions, I got notes.
And no answers.
Let's do this. Let's go.
Okay, so it's established that there's this race team in a small town in Anywheresville, America.
Mount Kisco.
Mount Kisco. All right.
Right, Mount Cisco.
I believe you. Mount Cisco.
And like any good setup, there's of course an opening race where the characters are loosely established, and we know exactly who everybody's going to be.
Yeah, and we called it the first time that kid dies 100%.
As soon as he walked on screen,
his name, his look.
Hey guys, I'm innocent.
Yeah, that dude's dead.
I'm younger brother.
Oh, Jesus! It's just so everything was just so obvious from the start. It was like what, just the tropes.
Yeah, just. In that first scene everybody's in, Aaron Paul didn't really flex his acting chops very well.
No.
When he looks upset more than like distressed that his ex-girlfriend or former lover is coming up to speak to him.
Or whatever, because they don't explain shit.
Yeah. For some reason he's really tight with her brother though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd go so far as to say is Aaron Paul does not flex any acting muscles in this movie at all, except for the scene where Pete dies. Yeah. I mean that's all. He's just like doing one of these.
He cries a couple times.
Just kind of looks up and down and
silently yells. But yeah, no, it's not a showcase for him.
No,
at all.
But it was supposed to be, right? I mean, this is his first movie post
leading role. Yeah,
Breaking Bad, and this was supposed to be big time.
Right.
And
this is not the vehicle.
Mm-hmm. This is what he picked.
Right.
I don't know if that was a joke.
It was slightly pun intended. Yeah. This episode's gonna be full of them.
Yeah.
So my first note here is that Dino just doesn't seem like that bad of a guy for Aaron Paul to be such an asshole to him.
Yeah.
From the get go.
When he first gets into he's introduced, he's like, "How's it going, guys?" And they're like, "Fuck off."
Hey, you want a job?
Yeah. Then he offers him
fuck
a job.
You.
Yeah, the whole plot teeters on just Aaron Paul like just checking his ego for half a second.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what sets everything off.
No, yeah. Yeah, it really is.
He could have walked away with $7,500,000.
$75,000.
$750,000 million.
Right.
Numbers.
And instead, he's got to be talking shit. He's like, you know. And then the little guy, he's like, I mean, everybody knows he's better than you.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone knows it. It's just, I mean, and it was just so melodramatic. Yeah. I mean, there was scenes that were in slow motion for no reason. Like, there's a scene that introduces the characters. The very first scene, and he's talking to the banker, and he's got, I'm sorry about your dad. He was one of our favorite customers. He banked with us for 30 years, and we're still going to need that money back. Yeah. And then he like walks away and then slow motion walk back to the garage. Lasts like 5 minutes. For what? I don't know.
Right.
Just to kind of set the scene, I guess.
For drama, man. That's what you need.
It's drama.
So, yeah. Dino's character, or Dominic Cooper's character, Dino, just seemed like...
Not that bad of a guy.
It didn't seem like...
And, I think we're supposed to establish that that animosity's there because he stole his girlfriend.
I guess.
Is that what it is? I don't feel like they fully explain, because then there's some mention towards the end about what's her name? The chick.
Exactly.
Dakota Johnson's character.
She doesn't even... Anita, because Cudi does that stupid...
I need a car.
There's some mention of like her brother dying, like the older brother to Petey dying.
Man.
Oh, I missed that.
I think I heard that in the second viewing, but I may have been hallucinating.
Ooh, I missed that.
Anyway, I don't know if that has any bearing on why there's such animosity there, but it's not warranted. So
yeah, well, and he says
the story up on nothing.
He says when they're in the garage, like, you're still holding on to some like locker room fight,
right?
And it's like, I mean, did they literally get into a locker room fight? And then from high school onward, Aaron Paul just won't let it go. Like Toby just won't let it go.
How old is he supposed to be in this movie?
I mean,
18.
let's guess. I mean, he owns a garage. His dad just died. They don't explain how his dad died, so it could have been anything. It seemed pretty sudden. Everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." I'm gonna say late 20s.
Yeah, I'd say late 20s, like very early 30s.
Dad's probably in his like 60s.
Yeah.
Still a youthful guy. Seemed like he was still running the garage and then passed suddenly. So he's old, but he's not that old.
He's us. We can relate.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd definitely say late 20s. Because the younger brother is probably like early 20s.
Yeah.
Early to mid 20s. He's got to be like 23, 24.
Yeah,
That's why
they
don't
really discuss ages or anything like that.
No, we don't know anything about any of them. No.
Anything.
No character building. No. I mean, the guy who seems to have the biggest arc is, again, Dominic Cooper. He goes from, hey, man, you want a job? To, like, I'm fucking glad he's dead. Eat a dick. It's such a sudden, like, when did he become this murdering, like, psychopath? Yeah, it was like, oh, God.
You like the car I brought? I wasn't there.
And how fucking obvious, like, dude, the symbolism. Like, Dominic Cooper is never not wearing black.
Yeah.
He's introduced wearing a black turtleneck and a leather jacket. It's got to be like 1,000 degrees.
Twiddling a mustache.
It's just, seriously. And then when you see him again, he's wearing black. His car is black and red.
Yeah.
I mean, then he's wearing a jacket that it's all black and then like red lining. And then when him and Aaron Paul they finally meet again at the race in the end, Aaron Paul's wearing a white shirt and he's wearing a black shirt, and they're on screen together, and you could just see like heaven and hell,
filmmaking,
God and the devil just like clashing, good and evil. It was like, ugh, this just turns me way off.
That's what Wow wanted.
Yeah.
Wow.
Poetry.
He thought the symbolism was going to be subtle. It's like a fucking hammer.
Mr. Wow.
Such ham-fisted. All right, let's go back.
Continue. So, there's that beginning race, which I actually thought that Petey was going to die in initially. I thought that was going to be the kickoff for the entire movie.
Yeah, I
was a little surprised, but anyway, the crux of the movie is basically that this group of, I guess they're mechanics.
Yeah.
Mechanics and racers.
One racer.
Yeah, one racer.
Apparently, no one else has a race car.
Yeah. No, the little one's a racer too.
Oh, Petey.
Yeah.
Petey races as well. Yeah,
Petey's a racer. And I guess he's a racer in training.
Yeah, sure.
Because it seems like he's just kind of like when they're doing the 3 Lambo races.
Watch
like,
out, little buddy.
Yeah. all that bullshit.
Sorry, little buddy.
Little buddy.
My little buddy.
Just like rubs his head. Little buddy. Little buddy. No, little buddy. My little
Too
buddy
innocent
is
for
dead.
this life. Anyway, so they decide to go ahead and go on with that job that's going to apparently get them some money, which is to make a 1 out of 3 Shelby Mustang.
No, it's just to finish the Mustang that Carroll Shelby started.
Right.
It comes in and it's literally half a car.
There's no body on it.
Literally half a car.
Right.
It's like it stops at like the hood, and then
there's
the rest of it is just nothing.
Yeah, there's no body to the car.
Yeah.
So we don't get any building montage. Nope. We get nothing. Nope. We get a quick cut from them agreeing to take on the job, seeing the chassis basically of the car, cutting directly to the show in which the car is completely finished and ready to go.
Yep.
Why? That seems like essential for team building and understanding these characters.
For us to care more,
right?
Us as the viewer, to care more.
They really put work into this car.
Yes,
a lot of hard work.
So when it crashes, when they talk about how impressive it is, we have a point of reference for how impressive it actually is, and not just them talking about it.
Right.
Yeah. That point of reference that they wanted, that you were talking about, was when what's that girl's name?
Imogen Poots.
What's her character's name?
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
That real name is so strong. I can't think of it.
How fast is it?
And then they mansplain it to her.
Yeah, they do.
I watched it again. We all watched it twice. The first time, I lost it at that scene. The second time, we kind of talked about it at the end. It was like
she led them on.
She led them a little bit. I will say, and watching it again, I will say that she did, in fact, lead them a tad bit.
Yeah.
But it was still a bit of mansplaining.
Yeah. It was her inflection in the way that she asked the question.
Yeah. She walks up and she's like, "How fast is it?" And they're like, "It's fucking fast."
Really fast.
And she's like, "Are all Mustangs that fast?" And then that's when Aaron Paul is like, "Bitch, where are you?
She's not from
There's
around
only
here.
a Mustang here. What are you doing here?"
Does she, or does he actually say she's not from around here?
Yeah. She probably has no idea who Carroll Shelby is.
Yeah.
Like, just because she's not from America, she has no idea what a...
English people do not understand who Carroll Shelby is.
Right.
I would understand if he's like, oh, well, it doesn't look like she's into cars.
Right.
She probably has no idea who Carroll Shelby is. Like, that would make more sense.
Yeah, but his point is that
she's from
since
across
she's
the
not
pond.
From here, there's no way she can know who Carroll Shelby is.
Grab almost any chick on the street here and be like, "Hey, do you know who Carroll Shelby is?"
They wouldn't know.
But is she like a model?
Right.
Yeah. Right. So
I will say though, she is charming.
Yeah. No.
I loved her in this
Absolutely.
movie.
I was gonna bring that up myself.
I loved her in this.
You think so?
Yeah.
I thought that her and Rami Malek are wasted in this movie. Just wasted. Rami Malek is so good in this. He's just so above the material.
Wasting the talent, or
Yes.
they're wasted on set. Like
They are drunk.
drinking. That's why they're so good.
Probably because they're wasted.
It's the only way to get through it.
Down.
Yeah.
Got to bring the talent down.
Because they're so good. They gotta get shit faced to even keep
Get a
showing
handicap
up.
on it. And Aaron Paul.
Imagine Rami Malek is looking across the screen or across from the scene, and it's fucking Kid Cudi doing this fucking shit. God.
Oh, we'll get to Kid Cudi.
It's so annoying in this movie.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway, so they end up meeting Imogen Poots, whatever her character's name is. I don't know.
Let's go with Lizzie.
So they meet Lizzie. Lizzie ends up going on the adventure with Aaron Paul.
That whole adventure pissed me off.
It's like a road trip.
Well, wait.
The biggest loophole that I saw the first time we watched it is they just bought a $3 million car. They delivered it to, or it's in New York. They drove it to them. But then they drive it across on a time restriction. They have 45 hours to get to California.
Yeah.
When they could just throw it in the back of a plane.
Yeah, they could have flown
fly
it
across the
country. I thought about that too, and I thought they definitely could have got the car there in a matter of 3 hours. Aaron Paul still would have had to drive there though, because he's an ex-con. He just got out of jail. He's probably on probation. There's no way he's going to be able to get on a plane.
Well,
and leave
Kid Cudi.
the state.
Cargo plane?
Kid Cudi, though.
Kid Cudi
could have flown him.
He
Yeah.
he
There you go.
got so many air vehicles.
Excuse me,
and
Maverick.
they don't explain Maverick. They don't explain how.
No, he's just like the
them.
smooth talking black guy. You know, he's Chris Tucker, he's Martin Lawrence, he's Eddie Murphy. He's just the smooth talking black guy. Just goes in, he's like, "Hey baby, can I borrow your plane real quick?
Can I borrow your iPad?"
And they're just like,
Miss Military Policeman.
Yeah. Can I charm the pants off you and the iPad off you?
And he can.
Hold on, let's go back because we skipped the actual.
Yeah. So Petey dies. Moving on. No, they end up having this race after, they get in an argument over the Mustang, how fast people can drive the Mustang, because Aaron Paul's character ended up making a deal saying that they'll be able to sell it for $3 million if he can get it to what,
230.
230, right.
And he got it to 234.
So, that ends up causing a conflict for some reason because characters need to fight over something. Like
it's always a pissing contest.
Yeah. Just establish why they don't like each other.
Right.
Just tell us why.
That is the biggest problem in this movie, is we don't understand the conflict.
Yeah.
We don't understand from the get-go.
Hate each other.
They're still like two high schoolers just like slapping hands.
I can drive faster than you.
No, I can't.
It's like they put their lives on the line, like literally put their lives on the line to have this race. For what? There's no stakes. We don't care because they don't tell us why to care.
Right. So, anyway, they get in an argument over who's the better racer. And then Petey and Toby and what's his name?
Dominic, Dino.
Dino, right. And Dino. First of all, what's up with the names in this movie?
Dino, Toby, Petey.
Anyway,
Benny.
Benny is Kid Cudi, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, they get into a street race with his uncle's Koenigseggs. In the end of the race, Petey ends up getting hit in the back bumper.
By the way, they do the shake and bake, and I guess nobody really noticed, but they do the shake and bake from Talladega Nights, where the shake and bake is he gets behind. Because if it's three of them, he gets behind, and then that car
drafts.
Yeah, and then you just pull, and then because he can't focus on both. So yeah, and they do that. They do the fucking shake and bake in this movie. And he's like, "Thanks, little buddy," and drives off.
How cool would it have been if he, like, under his breath, someone shake and bake, shake and bake.
And they both did it. They're like, shake and bake.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So that sets up the entire conflict for the rest of the movie.
Well, there was something that kind of bothered me. Well, a lot of it bothered me. But how does Aaron Paul's character even know what happened? Like, if I'm 2 car lengths ahead, how would I know if the person behind
because
me,
the audience saw it, Marco, and that's what matters.
It just doesn't make. How would he know? Yeah, how would he know? I mean, they were going at like 130 miles an hour.
He could have easily lost control.
Yeah,
himself.
like how? Like he knew that he tapped his bumper.
Right.
Like.
I mean, well, okay. Let me say this: he had a hunch, and then we found the Koenig again in the garage. It had the scrape on it.
Right. And
I mean, that confirmed it for him.
Yeah.
But
to his character's credit as well, though, I think he ended up saying, "You didn't come back for him."
Yeah.
And that was the main problem, is that you didn't turn around and come back for him. And then
I guess maybe that's what he's more upset about, and then he's just kind of assuming because he didn't come back for him,
right?
And, that he was the cause.
And then the police too ended up saying something about, I think, it being a crash. I don't know.
Well, oh yeah, and then they say that, like, you know, the uncle only had 2 cars, and there's no confirmation of the third. So obviously, they're just trying to cover it up.
Right, they were reported stolen too. So
I guess that makes sense. And the whole police investigation that doesn't really make any fucking sense.
Like we got witnesses that say they might have seen 3 cars,
but we're not going to follow up. No. Right. We're just going to put you in jail. How about that?
You're the only one that can place Dino there.
And it's like, okay, somebody can, though. Doesn't that warrant a little bit of follow-up?
Some investigation.
Something?
If they would have said, like, Dino has some, like, mob ties and he has the police in his pocket or something, that would have made more sense.
And I wrote that down. The police, there's no allusion to the fact that the police are crooked.
Right.
This just looks like they just didn't do enough.
Yeah.
Like, if they said, like you said, that they were like, if they were like smarmy and kind of snarky, like, you're the only one who can put Dino there, you little bitch, or something like that, then you go, okay, he's got the police in his pocket, that's why he's going to jail. But this just looks like lazy policing.
Right.
And that's why he went to jail for
Well,
6 months?
For a Speed game.
True.
Cops are pretty bad.
Yeah. You can lose them pretty quickly.
I like the chase or the race at the end. Just the cops go from like there's no spike strips or anything. They go from like helicopter to rolling block to just straight sacrificing a car and ramming another racer off the street.
Is that actual like police strategy?
I don't think so.
I was watching it and Nicole came in and we were both looking at it like, is that how they're supposed to stop a high-speed chase? Like a guy he just literally just like put a brick on his accelerator. Just they timed it, said 1, 2, 3, go. So after a while, they just go from trying to stop the race to, okay, the only way we're going to be able to stop this race is murder them all.
He actually calls it in.
Yeah.
Lethal force.
Use lethal force. Really?
You know they have guns too, right? Like they could easily just shoot the hell out of those cars.
Yeah. All right, Johnson, use your car to destroy the other cars.
Are you sure?
No, I'm pretty sure. I saw it in a video game. It's Need for Speed. I think it's Need for Speed. Don't worry about the video game. I'm sure it's going to work. Try it out.
I might kill that guy.
No, he's it's a high-speed chase, Johnson. What are you, fucking rookie?
Here's your nightstick.
We need some boom boom.
All right, here's what you're going to do. You're going to time it, all right? They're all going to be coming at about 130 miles an hour. You use your nightstick. You throw it into the spoke. It'll flip the car. We'll stop the race. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Wait, do I go on go or on 3?
They just zip by him. You missed it.
Anyway, so the entire movie is a giant road trip film.
Basically a road trip movie.
Yeah. American road trip movie.
Yeah. Vacation's all I ever wanted.
I mean, honestly, I have to commend the movie in one regard, which is it's actually kind of faithful to the idea of the game, which is these different locales and, driving really expensive cars really fast through them, avoiding the police. They do the entire thing with the helicopters and the spike strip. They mentioned the spike strips. They mentioned the rolling barricade and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So I appreciated that. I thought that was, there's some cool touches for people that actually played the game
allusions to the game,
right? But like there's just it's missing the conflict to make that interesting.
That, and again, they don't explain anything.
Thanks.
And just the massive amount of stereotypes and tropes in this movie. It's just like it's not bad because of any one person's performance, save for maybe Kid Cudi, but it just bad because it's so lazy. They just it's almost like they just used a screenwriter's template and then just put it together using references to the video game and big name actors. They phoned it in.
They phoned it in, David.
They called it in. And it's just like it's just so lazy. Yeah. Everything about it is just so lazy.
Well, and that's what makes it boring.
Yeah.
I found myself very bored for watching a bunch of cars going real fast.
Yes, it was very hard to get through. So, I mean, I've never to give it a little bit of credit, or not credit, but just on my end, I was never that interested in like race car movies and stuff. Like even the Fast and the Furious, I liked for more of the other stuff and not the races. The races are like, it's exciting. Right. I could see why people were into that. I mean, when I was younger, I was into it, I guess. So like that aspect never really interested me. But if it's gonna be a movie based on a racing game, I think that they should have the whole thing should have just been based on race cars.
Well, they could have easily done something like Death Race.
Yeah.
You know that movie? Like, just do that, obviously toned down so you're not murdering people all the time. But, just that concept of we have, like Gumball 3000 or whatever. You have to get from this place to this place, and it's just a road trip movie, and that's it.
I think that's enough.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a movie called Need for Speed. It's based on a racing video game. Like, did we need all of this stuff?
No, a lot of the Need for Speed games that come out now have a really shitty storyline that goes with them.
Yeah.
So I think that's what they were trying to go for. Like
they
a
nailed
parallel. Yeah, parallel with the shitty story in the video games.
I think that these movies, like the main criticism of Fast and Furious, for instance, is like poor writing on in their regard. A lot of it is like, what is the point of this whole undercover cop crew, like trying to this investigation, and they're stealing DVDs or whatever? What is all this convoluted stuff
Right.
that I don't agree with. But I see why people would say that.
What's this all going towards?
And it's the same thing with Need for Speed. Like, what is the point of them having this rivalry? What is the point of the murder and the whole conflict? Like, it could have just been simply a car movie.
Right. Hey, I mean, maybe these guys are rivals, and that's all you need. Like, you understand
why.
Yeah, just explain why.
Yeah, it could be anything. It could be anything.
In the new version of the movie, you have these two guys who are both race car drivers, and you explain why they have this conflict, and then that leads the movie. The conflict, it could have been like one of those, like, these two characters have these arcs, and you're watching as they meet in the middle, and the climax is both of their arcs before, you know, they drop to the climax, or I forgot
Falling
what it's
action.
called. Yeah, thank you. In the movie, but that could have been the arc of the movie. That could have been what it was all about. We didn't need all this other stuff. Like, but again, if we took all that out, we wouldn't have Rami Malek. So
That's true.
I don't know.
They weren't even really necessary.
Huh?
His crew wasn't really
No,
necessary.
the whole crew was unnecessary.
No.
But still, I mean, the way Rami Malek quits his job, stripping naked, kissing that girl.
Now, does the lady, when he's walking into the elevator, say bony ass?
I think so. That's what it sounds like to me.
Okay, because I wasn't quite sure. I thought it was funny either way.
Yeah. Bony ass.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Cold in here.
Right. So, anyway, they get to San Francisco, which is the main place they're supposed to get at the end of this, or to begin this actual race.
Yeah.
There's a car accident. Mojin Poots is in the hospital. He ends up getting the Koenigsegg back by speaking to his ex-girlfriend, I guess we're assuming is
Maybe.
what
We
she
don't
is, Anita.
Sure.
That was funny.
Yeah. So they have this scene on, like, the dock, right? And she's like, you know, pouring her heart out to him, and he goes, I need a car.
Yeah, that's right. He did do
Why
that.
don't you just break up with him? I did.
did.
She shows him the ring. I need a car.
I need a car.
So,
And she just gave it to him.
yeah, he gets the car. He decides to race this car, which is also evidence for him, you know, to be saved.
I kind of want to explore that a little bit.
Okay.
Why did he keep that car?
They explain that. He explains it
did?
in the movie. Yes, he does. He explains it by saying, you know, some people just feel like they won't get caught.
So
That's
his
not an explanation.
ego.
Literally asked. I think they put this in because they realized audiences were like, why?
Yeah.
He literally asked, why do you think he kept the car? And then what's his name? Aaron Paul's character goes, you know, I think some people just feel like they're never going to get caught.
And see, again,
That's fine. Keep the car.
Cut to next scene.
Paint it.
paint it,
Something.
fix it.
Yeah. He has a garage, you know.
Right. He doesn't even have to show anybody that he fixed it.
No.
He owns a garage.
Right.
He can just fix it.
He literally has henchmen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can rip the bumper off
Just
I don't-
fix it.
and burn it.
I don't think the guys going after Toby were henchmen.
No.
No,
He has
the-
one. He has one.
Yeah, the
henchman.
guy who comes in, he's like, some fucking D-bag is out here asking about it. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
that's a customer, guy. why does he gotta be a douchebag? He's like, he wants to buy stuff. But yeah, okay, his ego stopped him from just getting rid of the car.
Sure. Let's go with that.
I mean, it's such a convenient plot point.
Right.
It angered me. Like, even watching it the second time, I was like, he could have done anything with that car.
Yep.
Why did he keep it? Why didn't he paint it? Get rid of it? Crush it?
Right.
Something. He kept murder evidence. That's like if he shot someone and then didn't dust the gun off and put it in a glass case in his house and just said, I'm keeping this.
Yep.
No. Even his ego would not make him think like, I'm not going to get caught.
Again, laziness.
It's so stupid.
Laziness.
It is so goddamn stupid. Where are my notes?
Go back to the notes.
That was another thing around that scene where, okay, Monarch is he's saying, you know, oh shit, fucking Toby's back and he's driving this Mustang. It's the kid.
Boy.
And we're setting this stuff up, and then Dino was like, you know, I just don't want him to be there. So if anybody, like, I don't know, wants to murder him, I'll give you one of my prized possessions.
Yeah, and my $2 million Lamborghini.
Yeah. So I mean, if you want to just go out there and like do what you got to do,
I'm not going to say what you should do, but
I'm just saying.
Do what you feel's right.
Yeah. Second Amendment people, you go out there, you do. Hey, I don't know. You just do what you got to do.
Yeah, you know
that bothered me because on the second viewing, I realized like if he was trying to keep people from being suspicious of him and his involvement in the murder from a couple years ago,
he wouldn't
have put a hit out on somebody. Like he would have just let him. Like what is the point of him stopping him from winning the race? You show up and you race in the race. Maybe you lose, maybe you don't. Doesn't really matter, right? I mean, I know that they set that whole scene up where he talks to the guy that I talked about earlier who was like, I don't believe this shit. It's like, there's a podcast. Just listen to it.
Watch him.
So that scene is set up for him, for us to know why Dino has an invested interest in the race, right?
Yeah.
So he wants it because like he's gonna get like $5 million from this investor and like he's gonna sell the cars or whatever. Okay, fine. Just go to the race and just race there. Like you didn't have to put a hit out on the dude to stop him from going. Like you do all that and you draw all this attention to him. Like, he wouldn't have got into the race without all of this drama and all of this conflict. You just ignore him.
I think even Monarch was like, "Whoa,
yeah." He was like,
"Are you sure?
Fucking Christ, dude! Like it's just a race. Like
these are cars. Relax."
And how bad could from what we're supposed to believe is a professional race car driver, a guy who I don't know, I guess he does Formula One or whatever he does. He's a pro, and he owns a garage. And he's famous, I guess, we're supposed to believe. He's got all these expensive cars and shit. His hot wife, and he owns a garage and whatever. So how bad could he actually be doing? There's no way he's doing as bad as, like, Aaron Paul's character in the beginning of the movie. So why does he need all this shit?
Lost his garage.
Who lost his garage?
Aaron Paul.
Yeah, he lost his garage. Why does Dino need... Like
Dino doesn't need to do shit.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, so why does he need Aaron Paul's character dead?
Ego, man. That's what it is.
The other thing, if you wanted him out of the race, just wait for him to show up in California. Call the cops on him.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I was thinking. He's like, like they meet face to face. And then, like, it was almost felt like Toby had to be like, if you don't want me, then why don't you just call the cops? Yeah. Because it, like, didn't occur to him.
Mm-hmm. And, like, they're in a bar. He's about to knock his block off. And he's like, hey.
He actually does. You really want to do this right now?
You're on parole. He says
one of us is on parole.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like, just call the cops. You could get rid of him very easily.
Right now.
Just say, hey, a guy accosted me at a bar. Guess what? He's also on parole.
I think he's on parole.
Movie over.
Yeah. Also, am I wrong in thinking that as soon as he finds the Koenigsegg that was involved in the accident, he couldn't just like call the police and be like, "Hey, I found this evidence.
Yep,
it proves that I'm innocent.
Yes,
swoop in, guys.
Yes, he could.
Please."
He could have just called an anonymous.
He couldn't have raced.
He wouldn't have been able to race. That's true. And we needed that redemption of a race.
Really do.
I mean, right? I guess we needed. I mean, because at the end of the day, I mean, money talks.
Oh yeah,
and he still wanted that. What was it? He would make $3 million off the race.
He would get all those cars.
Yeah, and then what cars?
Yeah, right.
All of those motherfuckers died. He died, or they crashed their cars.
There's tons of death in this movie.
There is a shit ton of death.
Unintended deaths.
People just
everywhere.
Keep dying, like that.
Including police officers.
That race ends. It's like an elimination. It's like an elimination tournament.
It's
like,
death race.
It turned into death race. It did. It's fucking death race. Cops just keep taking him out.
Yeah.
And then he's like, and then there was two. It's like, dude, all those guys are dead. The Gooch is dead.
The Gooch is dead.
English Mike?
English Mike is dead, man.
English Mike is dead.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I didn't like that. All those people die and he sees them die. But when Dino gets flipped, he stops for him.
Yeah. Right. Good point. His conscience kicks in when this piece of shit who murdered his friend a year ago. That's the guy.
4 deaths. All right, this is
that's
my quota.
But
all right,
this guy. This is the guy that I'm going to turn around.
One too many. One too many.
Good point.
Yeah. So, kind of needless to say, but Aaron Paul wins everybody. Aaron Paul wins.
Aaron Paul wins.
He gets the girl in the end. He goes to jail for a couple months until he can prove his innocence.
Yeah.
And then they ride off into the sunset.
It's always like those light sentences, and it's like, you know what? He was still street racing.
Yeah.
He still caused like millions of dollars worth of damage.
He was indirectly responsible for a few deaths.
Right. So if they were gonna pin Petey's murder on him, then they could definitely pin Gooch and English Mike's murder on him. Okay. Gooch. He could have gone to jail for an extended period of time.
Right.
Why doesn't Monarch get in trouble for any of this?
And that was going to be my next question. Because he is encouraging all of this illegal behavior.
Yeah, he set up the race.
Yes, exactly.
And he's got a radio show or a podcast or whatever it is.
Right.
And I thought that it was legit until the cops showed up, and I'm like, well, so wait a minute. You've got people calling in, so it has to be like a radio
pirate
show.
radio,
or
something. And
so he's got people calling in and all this stuff. And again, he's like a famous guy in the street racing world, or in the racing world, period. Because Homeboy knows him, Dino, and all that stuff. They're like cool or whatever. And so he sets up this race, but it's an illegal race. You got something?
No, I was like,
okay.
So this guy who's like super famous in the racing world, he sets up an illegal street race. Like it doesn't add up.
Right.
And it just seemed like they threw that part in there just to have the cops cause the conflict. And again, it could have just been a race.
Right.
It seemed like it was set up legitimately. They all had their spots at the starting lineup. They were on a main road.
Right.
You would think that main road was cut off for this street race. Mm-hmm. Like, where was the traffic if they were...
Right. If there was none.
Yeah. They alluded to a little bit of that with the SUV that was right in front of the race.
Yeah.
When Aaron Paul was coming in, he's like, whoa, slow down.
Yeah.
But, like, if that's it...
I think...
Yeah, that's the only thing that stops
the guy
through
that was
traffic.
Like taking tickets.
Maybe, I don't know.
Or just, like, getting people lined up.
You see, they don't explain, so we don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's the fatal flaw of this movie, is they explain
nothing.
Absolutely dick in this movie. Nothing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. There's cars.
And I think that's what they were gonna go with. It's like, look, man, we got the guy from Breaking Bad. We got two hot chicks in this movie.
There's
fucking cars. Who cares what the plot is?
Kid Cudi's on board. We got a rapper.
we got a rapper.
This is Fast and Furious,
guys,
baby.
He made a song for our movie. Like,
how can we lose? We're gonna roll the credits to it, baby.
Yep. That's how it's gonna go. We're gonna fade out with him doing some like fucking dance or whatever, man. People are gonna be super into it.
They're gonna be rolling in their seats.
Can we get Wiz Khalifa?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, he might be a little
he's
too
busy.
expensive.
He's busy with another movie
like Fast and
project.
Furious thing. I don't want to do that.
I was reading Amazon reviews just now, and someone made the point that is a lot like Need for Speed: The Run, the game.
Yeah, which is, that makes sense.
The game where they have to race across the country.
Yeah. Okay.
Very story driven too.
Yeah, so. Another bad story racing game. Like racing games don't need story.
Story driven.
Can you?
Is that the third one? Like,
I'm gonna,
is that not a retreat of a...
I'm gonna pump the brakes on this one. Let's pop this baby in reverse. Start the engines fresh and put the pedal right to the metal. Let's do it. Come on, guys.
Yeah, your tank's on E, Adam.
Looks like I gotta fill up.
I need you to stand up on your chair and jump off head first.
Into the glass table. Yeah, no. It's there's lots of flaws in this movie.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, because I don't like these to be entirely just bash sessions, is I also actually thought the racing was pretty well done. I thought the race scenes were pretty good. I respect that they didn't use a whole lot of CG in these, and I felt like they were a bit more kinetic because of that, and it felt a little bit more real.
Yeah.
As a car guy myself, I like seeing cars go fast, especially when they're not doing...
I like car go fast.
I like car go fast. And I really hated Too Fast, Too Furious for using mostly CG cars.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know why they did that. John Singleton, why?
I will say this, though, and I wrote this down, too. Does Aaron Paul's character have superpowers? Because at each race that he's in, there is a moment where the scene goes and it like zooms out and it goes into kind of slow-mo, and it happens every time they focus on him, and it's as if he can see things slower than everybody else, and that's why he's a racing prodigy.
Well, it's because you click both the thumbsticks in.
Yeah.
Oh,
You don't know this?
he's the only one who can do that.
Yeah.
In this universe.
Yeah.
I guess.
It seems like he's the only one.
Yeah.
Every time.
There's a couple in the very first race when they're going like under the bridge and it's the very last like little path that they have to get through. He does that.
He does it then. He does it in the Lambos, and he does it in the third race.
It's like
every time he races, he does.
It's similar to like the nitrous effect.
Yeah,
that they use.
But
in,
he's
like,
the only one that it happens to. And then once he does that, he does some advantageous move that gets him in the lead.
Yeah,
it's a really weird.
I mean, that's why he's the chosen one.
Well, the power is meth.
Well, like honestly, it's a very
it's that blue
strange,
glass.
Huh?
It's that blue glass.
It's a strange thing for them to kind of keep doing with one character.
Yeah,
like
he's the player.
Maybe. I guess that's what they're... I don't know, man. It was a strange thing because it was pretty obvious to me.
And then they had that drift level.
Yeah.
Where he went through the gas station.
Yeah.
The stunt jump. Got point multiplier on that.
But what did they say? They had to go 2-lane eagle or eagle 2-lane or flying to... Something stupid. Something dumb.
Bingo, hot fuel.
Like all these dumb code names. And with the fuel, like... I guess it saved them some time, but like, how much time did it really save them?
5 minutes.
Honestly,
it saved them 5 minutes.
Yeah,
because if they've got a fuel truck, okay, now you don't have to pull off on the highway. Just stop on the highway,
right.
Not on the middle of the road, but pull off on the side.
The thing was, they were being chased, and they needed to pull off to change the route because they thought they were going west on some highway.
Got it.
So in order to keep from being seen, they needed to refuel while moving to be able to get to the exchange faster.
Yeah, the truck distracted the police, I think. They split off.
It kind of seems like they did that scene just to have Rami Malek go, woo!
Was he really on top of that truck?
Yeah, I think so. Looked like it.
He does that too much. When they won, when Aaron Paul wins the first race in the beginning of the movie, that looked like the end of the movie.
Yeah.
It was in slow motion. Everyone's celebrating. Rami's going, woo! Yeah! And like Kid Cudi's character is like, I'm fucking done with this movie. And he like just pulls off. That looked like the end of the movie. It could have ended like that. Credits could have rolled, and I would have been like, that okay?
Short film.
That makes sense to me.
One and done. Yeah.
I don't even know where else to go.
Yeah. I mean, this movie's all over the place. Obviously, it wasn't written very well.
No. It wasn't written well. I'm not gonna say it wasn't acted well. I think everybody did what they could.
It was
with the
fine.
material.
I think Adam's trying to think of a pun.
No, that's fine.
You're like staring off into nothing.
It was just a lazy movie.
And that's the biggest sin we can cast upon this movie is that it was just so goddamn lazy.
So lazy.
Yeah, I don't ever want to watch this movie. I want this movie out of this house.
You take it off the wait, never mind.
Out of our DVD player immediately. All right, guys. So I mean, I feel like we just need to circle back.
Start from the beginning of the race.
Make a donut, if you will. Start burn. Am I burning out?
Yeah, I think you might be burning out.
Yeah. All right, let's. All right, I'm done. So, I think we can all say that we would not recommend this movie.
No.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah,
Left a bad taste.
I would plead with you not to watch this movie.
I mean, why watch this movie when there's the Fast and Furious series?
Yeah. If you want cars going fast, watch any of the Fast and Furious movies other than, I would say, Too Fast, Too Furious. And I mean, if you're into racing, watch Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, I like Tokyo Drift.
It was an enjoyable movie for race car guys. I
love Lil Bow Wow.
Yeah.
That whole car.
And his whole car, yeah.
I didn't like how heavy-handed a lot of like the opening scene was, where they're pulling up to a car meet and everybody's in a muscle car. These are like teens, 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
All of them have like rebuilt muscle cars. They're watching Bullet in a drive-in theater.
Yeah,
so stupid.
Gross.
And they're all like, it's just like the stereotypical car movie scene with like hot chicks and like really small clothing, and they're like talking to each other. I'm glad we're here and we can see all the cars.
I don't think you can tell it's a small town, and that's why they're at a drive-in.
Yeah. It's like we didn't realize that they're in a small
town. And they're in muscle cars.
It's as if like they're the only garage in the city.
Everybody has a rebuilt like muscle car.
Yeah. his is so famous that like Monarch knows his car is a piece of shit, even though it's actually not a piece of shit because it won that race pretty easily. Yeah. So how much of a piece of shit is that car really?
It's not.
It's not.
This movie does not. It's not good.
There's no consistency.
With close inspection, there are many errors within the film.
Many plot holes.
And I feel like we should end it on that.
I want to see if I have any more notes.
I'm gonna look at the trivia real quick.
Marco.
Yeah.
I said we should end it on that.
Yeah.
You guys have any closing thoughts?
Just that Kid Cudi's whole character in this movie was very offensive.
It really was.
It was like one of the laziest black characters I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah.
There's the scene in the beginning of the movie, the very beginning, and they're hearing Monarch talk about Toby. And he's like, yeah, this guy's really dope. He's got a shitty car, but he's a really good racer. Kid Cudi walks in, he goes, what y'all talking about? Mm-hmm. What y'all talking about? And then he grabs the guy, and then he starts to listen, and there's no way that he could have the reaction that he has because it's a podcast, and so Michael Keaton's character is trying to get a thought across. So there's no way that he can react so quickly, and yet he says it, what y'all talking about? Grabs Pete, and then goes, what? The guy is not saying anything yet. Like, he's trying to get a thought out. So there's no way he could have reacted like that. And, what?
I said, what?
Oh, God, it drove me crazy. I think that, I don't know, Kid Cudi, it seemed like in this time frame, he had more opportunities. He didn't have to, like, he had a pretty big role in that HBO show, and I think he did something else. I don't know. I just feel like this was, as crazy as this sounds, I think it was beneath him. I think this was as far as like a black actor, I think that this could have gone to like an unknown black actor who was like, had to do this.
Right.
Although, I mean, I would say, just to take it back one more step and say that,
please don't do this.
You're right.
Black actors, please don't do this.
Write the black character a little bit better than this.
Right.
I mean, this was like mid to late 90s black stereotype character from like teen movies. This was like Clueless level of black actor.
Yeah. Or like horror movie level. You know? It's like just these tropes, I feel like, ruined a lot of this movie. Besides the lazy writing. So,
found a plot hole. At the end of the race, Monarch claims to hear over the police radio that the plate of the red Agera is Dino's. If the plate is registered to Dino, how was this missed after the crash that killed Pete?
Oh, if he had like a plate period that
registered.
Was
yeah.
Jesus.
All right.
Yes, exactly.
All right, fair enough. So,
well,
I bet there's an entire forum of just
plot holes.
Plot holes from this movie that could fill up.
Maybe like actual cops writing in, like, here's what would really have happened.
Right. We wouldn't have sent one of our cruisers into the middle of the race to try to stop it. That seems like pretty dangerous and kind of manslaughter on our part.
Well, potato homicide. Anyway, so this was another episode of One Reel In. Please don't watch this movie. You can find us on iTunes, SoundCloud,
Stitcher.
Google Music, and Stitcher. So go ahead and look us up at
YouTube.
One Beer In everywhere, including YouTube. Yeah. So I'm Adam Obesis Rodriguez. That is Davey Boy.
Davey the God.
Davey the Boy. That is Marco the God.
Yeah.
No.
Signing off. Peace out.
Peace.
We will see you next time.